Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Now my last video was about my sternum tattoo that I recently got. I was bragging about how it didn't even hurt, I was falling asleep, I really didn't mind the pain, it was like a 4 out of 10 in the worst places. I was giving advice to people and just saying that I wanted to give you all a positive video on the experience because everyone that I had watched was like really savage and just made me scared to get mine. The turns have tabled. I have had some issues with the healing process on this one. It's Wednesday today, so in 2 days it would have been 2 weeks since I got the tattoo. It is looking a million trillion times better now, and I think it might be educational and helpful if I talk about it. And even though I still don't know exactly what it was that happened with the tattoo, maybe I can help some people out and give some advice, because I don't see a lot of videos out there of when a tattoo does go wrong and what you should do to take care of it. I'm not really used to proper healing tattoos, which is why I've never really done a healing a tattoo video before, because they're just like tiny ones and they'll be healed in a few days, and it's as basic as a little bit of soap, wash it with some warm water and make sure you put bepanthen on it, and that's about it. Like, there's really not much to the process. Trigger warning if you don't like boobs or anything, there's going to be a lot of photos here for reference, so if you don't like that, please just click off of the video. So let me show you how the tattoo is currently doing and what it looks like. It doesn't look too bad in comparison to what it was. It's really not too bad. There's still a bit of like redness and dry skin all along my under boob and along here, and especially up here on my chest. It's really like dry and a little bit sore still up here, even way above the tattoo it's been like that. It's mainly just redness like around the tattoo and my under boob area, and I've heard that that's because I wasn't wearing a bra, and obviously you can't wear a bra during healing process. It was a lot worse. There was like all today there was peeling skin all around here, literally all around the tattoo. It was like peeling severely today, so I had to just pop some bepanthen on it. I have switched from Lush Dream Cream because that just wasn't doing me any favours, and bepanthen is 100% better, so I will stick to that from now on. I love Lush Dream Cream for smaller tattoos, but for this it just was not the one. It was peeling a lot today, but it wasn't peeling on the tattoo at all today. It was mainly just around it, and it was literally just skin like you get with a sunburn, but it wasn't really hurting, it wasn't painful, it wasn't itchy, it was just skin coming off. Once I put the cream on, it's kind of cleared up, and I don't know if I can get closer, but there's literally hardly any peeling at all now. It's really not that bad. It's starting to look normal, which makes me really happy because now I can see what it's going to look like, and I was quite terrified that my tattoo was going to be ruined for life with the way that it was looking to begin with, but as you can see it's looking really good, and now I'm having no issues. But this is where we get into the story time. I got my tattoo on the 10th of October, and here on my camera roll, thankfully it dates them, on the 13th of October, so obviously 3 days later. This here is the photo of how the healing was going. Now I'm going to be looking down at my phone for this part because I can't see what I edit in. First day it really wasn't that bad, it was just getting a little bit like swollen around like the middle part of my boob where the stem is. It really wasn't too bad. I had a little bit of soreness, as you can see, under my bigger boob. I was told that that would be friction from skin on skin contact from my boobs hanging down, and obviously before, when I've had to get a tattoo like my rib one, I wasn't wearing a bra for 2 weeks, but I had much smaller boobs because I hadn't got on the pill yet, and so I never experienced the rubbing of skin of boobs before, so I didn't know that was a thing until my boobs got bigger. So bear that in mind, that is going to be painful, but I recommend getting bepanthen and just constantly kind of rubbing cream on it. And it was incredibly painful and sore, but things did get worse. As you can see in this photo, it is quite pink and quite red, and if you think this looks irritated, wait till you see the next photos. I didn't take any time off of work for this healing, and that was the biggest mistake I've ever made, because I was doing a lot of warehouse work around these days, and this is when I started to get in pain. Anytime I would stretch to lift anything or bend down or anything like that, I'd get like a ripping pain right up my chest, and it's unavoidable at work, and people kept saying, oh, don't worry, we'll give you help and we'll get the male staff to help you lift and stuff. But with my job there was so much to do that I would do it anyway even though I was in pain, which was stupid to do because I was in agony. But I would say take the time off work, especially if you have a very active job like I do. It was definitely a huge mistake to not at least take a week off, because if I worked right now I'm totally fine, like I can't feel any pain, but the first week working with it was actually agonising, and I really recommend that you take the time off. I should have taken the time off, but I just really didn't want to use up the holiday for it, which was dumb because this was obviously going to be a painful one, and when I tell you I was in pain, I was in pain. This is just a close-up of that boob I'm talking about. You can see the redness underneath, and a lot of people, when I showed them this photo, they were like, oh, have you been wearing a bra? You shouldn't be wearing a bra when you're getting this healed. And I'm like, no, that's not from a like bra rubbing, that's literally just from my skin. Researching it and posting comments on Facebook and stuff, and just kind of getting advice from other people. I'm in a few tattoo groups, so I asked for advice. They said that it's probably skin on skin rubbing from my boobs. So that was a new experience to me. It made me feel great because I'm like, yay, I've got big boobs now, but also I now realise I can't not wear a bra because it's just not a thing that I can do, and yeah, that sucks. And this picture here was taken the next day on the 14th of October. This is probably one of the worst photos. Here you can see that there is redness all up my chest here, where the stem is. It was very, very sore. The skin still feels weird now. And just a very like scabby texture right here, and it was really, really sore. That other boob has gotten way redder, way more irritated. At this point I was in a lot of pain. The tattoo was starting to peel already, and it was just very, very red. Again, any stretching, any moving, which I had to do a lot, was incredibly painful. Just felt like a ripping pain whenever I'd move too much. I really couldn't do much at work. You know, my manager gave me a job to do in one day and it took me 3 days to do, and I'm usually very, very quick. And even he was saying, why you blah blah blah, and I had to explain about my tattoo and stuff, and he could tell I was in pain because I'd constantly have tears in my eyes. But I had to get on with it anyway because it's my fault, it's self-inflicted. But as you can see, this is where it starts to get really bad. I was literally just washing it every day with unscented soap like I usually do. I wasn't washing it so much at work because I had so much to do, and sometimes I wasn't even taking my breaks. But I was trying to put cream on it as much as I could, but at work your hands get very dirty and stuff, and then I'd have to not only take a little break, I'd have to like wash my hands, sanitize and really make sure they were pure clean because of all the dirt and dust in the warehouse and stuff. Maybe it was a reaction to that as well. I think the cotton on my work shirt might have been rubbing against it too much, and that might have caused it. I should have wrapped my tattoo up. I don't know why I didn't. Usually I do, even with small ones I've wrapped them up in the past. But I suppose wrapping it up, I did try that once. I can't remember what day it was, and I just couldn't move, and even though it helped with the pain and definitely stopped it being inflamed and irritated, I then couldn't move at all, and you could tell I was wrapped up because I had to like cover my whole boobage and everything. At this point I was still using Lush Dream Cream, and that was just not the one for this one. I definitely recommend the Panthen because that just definitely helped to moisturise it way more than Lush Dream Cream. I feel like that's more something you should use at the end of your healing process than anything else. And on the caption to this one it says, "My dudes, I've never cried over a tattoo before, but this is the worst." So at this point I must have been in a lot of pain. I remember, I think this was the day I had to go outside and have a bit of fresh air. I had a cigarette and I started crying, and I was like, I feel like such a little pussy, like crying over a tattoo. Like I feel pathetic, but I have to do it. So I was just stood there crying. My manager comes out and starts rolling a cigarette and gives me a weird look, and he's just like talking to me about work, like not acknowledging that I'm crying, and I'm like, he knows why I'm crying, and it's a bit awkward because of the like area that it's in as well. So like, yeah, I didn't want to talk about it too much, make people uncomfortable, but I couldn't help it because I was in so much pain, and he was just kind of like, can't really help you, to be honest. Another thing is I was wearing nipple covers at work, but I just kept sweating them off, so that was just bad. My tattoo artist, I did eventually contact him, I don't remember which day, and he said that it's probably a reaction to sweat. So it might have been that because I was working quite hard. So it's obviously really hard to keep a tattoo clean when you're working in such a fast-paced, heavy lifting environment. So yeah, I can't stress enough, take time off work. This is a close-up of the rose. You can see that it's starting to peel, which is totally normal. It's quite red. It doesn't look too bad on camera, but I definitely remember it feeling and like really hot. When you put your hand to the touch on my chest, I was burning up. This one is from Thursday, but here it was really, really bad. As you can see, there's a lot of redness everywhere. It's getting worse. You can see it's starting to peel. In this photo, I'm pretty sure I had a lot of Lush Dream Cream on it because I was just soaking it in that shit because it was so fucking painful. It was like a stinging, ripping pain, and it was so awful, and I couldn't sleep at night because no matter which position I laid in, I was in pain. The rubbing from not wearing a bra was getting worse. This is where I started to get a little bit concerned because I'd never had this kind of pain with healing before. This is a very recent one. Now I don't have pictures from every day because it was quite bad most days and it didn't go away for days. No matter what I did, it would never go away. Even when I got home and I was sitting down and resting, the pain never went. This one is from Sunday, this Sunday previous. This was where it was getting quite bad, and I posted it again in a tattoo group that I'm in, and they were like, okay, you've done like 3 posts on how much agony you're in, and this is not normal tattoo healing. Like, you need to go to the doctors before your tattoo gets ruined, and you will continue to be in this pain, and every day your posts are getting worse. You need to go to a doctor. So finally my dumb ass is like, okay, fine, I'm gonna go to a doctor if I must. Called them up. They were like, what seems to be the issue? I asked for an emergency appointment. They were like, why? They must have very high demand at the moment. And I was like, basically I had a tattoo well over a week ago and I'm pretty sure that it's infected or something. And they said, okay, send us an email with a picture of it, of how it looks right now, and we'll get back to you. It was quite a weird reaction because the whole tattoo was like, the texture of the actual tattoo was a really weird like plasticky texture on my skin, and I was getting really concerned by this point because that was not normal. It was like a plastic texture. It looked like a sticker on my body, and it was like really pale white, and there was like no swelling on the middle of the tattoo, but all around it, it was like really sore, really irritated, peeling like a bitch. It was turning into like a heat rash type thing, and it wasn't just on the tattoo, it was going down my whole stomach and all up here, up my chest, and it was horrible. I was just so done with it. I was like, this needs to be healed soon because this is actually putting me off getting my next tattoo on my rib done. This was the day where I messaged my artist as well as called the doctors, because this is where I was like, okay, now I know for a fact that this is not normal. Like, I just wanted to give the benefit of the doubt. By this point though, it had been far too long and it definitely was not right. I was even getting sore nipples, like a rash around my nipples, and my nipples were really sore. And it was just awful. It was awful, awful, awful. And I can't wait to go back to bras because my nipples even now are still peeling. I'm sorry if this is too much info, but they're still peeling with skin because they started peeling from just, I don't know, being dry or something. I don't even know what that's all about. Maybe it's from not wearing a bra. If it's a reaction, I don't know. But even my nipples were like on fire and it was awful. They gave me fluoxetine or something capsules, 500 milligrams. Contains penicillin. They gave me 28 capsules. Oh, and this is just basically antibiotics. And at this point I knew it was serious because they called me back and were like, wow, that looks really sore, we need to get you on antibiotics immediately. I've got to take these 4 times a day, which I have been doing. I actually need to take one now, to be fair. Have I taken one? No, I haven't. So I need to take my last 4th one now, which I could do on camera if you want. I can only have one an hour before eating or 2 hours after eating. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Also, I really loved when I got it out because it's red and black like my hair. That they're like Becca pills. So they taste like shit. They have been incredibly effective immediately. I have to stay on them until I finish the whole box. Even if I start to feel better, which I'm already feeling better, I have to keep taking them obviously because they're antibiotics. You can't just stop taking them. That is my story of my tattoo. And as you can see now, the antibiotics have worked wonders. Like, it's really doing magic and I feel so much better. There's no longer any pain, there's no burning, I can move freely. Like, usually if I did this I'd be in agony, I'd be holding my chest and I'd be near tears, but I feel like the healing process is nearly done now. The antibiotics are really helping me. They're a fucking miracle. I'm so happy that I went to the doctors and I went to my artist for advice. My artist was quite upset and I felt really sorry. Like, I didn't want to tell him because I didn't want him to think like, I don't know, it's stupid. I didn't want him to think like, oh, I messed up her tattoo or she's messed up my tattoo. But I should probably update him at some point and say it's all good. If your tattoo gets to that point where it's like, you'll know when it's too much pain. Even if it's your first tattoo, you shouldn't be in that much pain. You'll have a bit of irritation and a little bit of itchiness where you'll just want to like scratch the hell out of it, and you will have peeling at some point. But if you're still in agonising pain a week in, something is wrong. If you're getting rashes and redness and swelling and you're in tears every day because of the pain, then this is not normal healing. And if you ever have any doubts that your tattoo is healing right, don't do a me, don't wait last minute, because I could have saved myself so much agony. Immediately to your artist, get the advice, see what they say. if it's hurting so bad, go to your doctors or call them up. Even in COVID, I got antibiotics the same day. In the next hour, they sent it to the pharmacy right outside my workplace so that I could go get it. But after a while, trust your instinct. You know when something is wrong with your own body, so just contact your doctor, and there's no shame in having to take antibiotics or something, because at the end of the day, if I hadn't gone and gotten these, like, I'd still be in agony and I could have potentially ruined the tattoo. And this has cleared it right up for me and made the healing process so much nicer, and I should, hopefully, usually by this point my tattoo is totally healed, so I'm hoping by like next week I'll be able to put a bra on again. I hope that this was helpful to you. I don't want to scare you off with sternum tattoos because not everyone's experience will be like this, but just take notes and listen to my advice. You can like, comment and subscribe. I make new videos whenever, and I will see you in my next one. Cheers, bye.